does happen. What Daniel does next is remarkable, and this is going to really be our focus for today. The title of today's message is Ashes and Tears. And here's what Daniel does. He commits himself to a season of prayer. The moment he sees that God has promised he's going to do something, Daniel says, that's it, I'm going into prayer. And what kind of prayer was it? We're not just talking about Daniel goes into his room and prays for 15 minutes. In the next chapter, there's another time when Daniel commits to a season of prayer, and it lasts for 3 weeks, 21 days. We're not told in chapter 9 how long he prays, but it is clearly a season of prayer. And he says that he does 3 things in that season of prayer. Number 1, fasting. Number 2, sackcloth. And number 3, ashes. What in the world does that mean? Well, what is fasting? Fasting is when you don't eat, right? Or maybe for Daniel, there are times when he fasted just from certain kinds of food. Like, he had all the best food in the world available to him through the king's table in the palace. And there were many times where he fasted from what he called choice food or the good food. He would just eat like raw vegetables for 3 weeks, something like that. So he gets rid of all the delicious food in his life. That's step number 1. Why would he do that? That doesn't sound like fun. That sounds kind of depressing. Wouldn't that make you sad? What would it feel like if you decided you just weren't going to eat for the next few days? Or you were going to eat nothing but like raw broccoli for 3 weeks? How would you feel? You might feel healthy, yep. You might also feel a little worried about that or discouraged, sad. There might feel like an emptiness literally in your belly. The next thing that he does is put on sackcloth. What is sackcloth? Well, back then it's literally what they made sacks out of, a big bag to carry stuff. But it was very scratchy cloth. And if people wanted to enter into a time of mourning, a time where they're going to be really sad about something, they would cut holes in it and then put it on like a shirt or like a tunic. And it would scratch them, literally. And after a few days, you would feel very itchy and red. It was uncomfortable. Wow, that doesn't sound like fun either, Daniel. And then what does ashes mean? It means he went and sat down in a spot where there used to be a fire, and he covered himself in soot and ashes. So the picture we have here of Daniel is he goes into a season of prayer where he's not going to eat, and he puts on this really scratchy sackcloth so he'll feel terrible, and then he throws himself down in a fire pit and covers himself in dirt. Why in the world would Daniel do that?